Well, let me talk about my favorite film at the festival, Jason.
I guess
we
you
saw
can.
our favorite films at the exact same time.
We did.
First thing Saturday morning. And this is one that I had been looking forward to a little bit. And I didn't realize it was going to be at South by Southwest until we got there. This is the new Joe Swanberg movie, Drinking Buddies. Joe Swanberg, a guy who's been to the cinema. He was here last semester. And I'd been a little familiar with his films, not super familiar, but I became a big fan of his work. So I was really excited to see this. This one's a big departure for him because, he's generally doing things with people that he knows in real life or people who are like local actors to where he is. This is the first time he's used established actors, like celebrities, people you would recognize. Now, he's had a couple actors that have turned out to become that. So Greta Gerwig is somebody who most people, not most people, but people would say, I've seen her in something. Yeah. Mark Duplass is another one who's been in a lot of stuff. He's worked with Joe before. But this film has Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson, Ron Livingston, Anna Kendrick. Jason Sudeikis is in the film as a very minor role. But what really struck me about this film was Olivia Wilde. She just blew me away. I couldn't believe. I've seen her in things like House and Tron, and it was like, yeah, she's a nice
Cowboys
actress.
and Indians.
I haven't seen that. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Cowboys and Aliens, you mean?
Whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, basically, Olivia Wilde and
That wasn't her fault, though. So
Yes. So Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson are basically close friends who work at this sort of microbrewery, okay? And the story just kind of follows them and their relationship as they're sort of dealing with the people they're dating. They're not dating each other, and how that changes. And it all kind of starts to change when they go for like a weekend in a cabin at Olivia Wilde's Ron Livingston's cabin. And everyone kind of has their own moments. Everyone kind of has the thing that they're doing. So Ron Livingston is sort of making it clear that he's not really happy with Olivia Wilde. He's sort of happy that she's happy, but he doesn't really have any particular affection for her. He's kind of looking for a way out. You kind of get that sense right away. Olivia Wilde is, clearly wants to be with this Jake Johnson character. And they just have this unreal chemistry. It's you almost never see chemistry like this. And I think that Joe Swanberg's style, where it's not as much about say the words that are on the page. He might not even have had a script for this. He might have just had an idea of
just hang out and
this
talk,
is the scene that I want to be here, and you're kind of talking about this, and go for it. I think they really hit it out of the park. You sort of love to see them together because you kind of want to be one of those people. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want to have that relationship with another person. And, Ron Livingston is kind of playing like the grown-up character. Everyone else is kind of around having fun. But Ron Livingston's the guy who's like bringing wine to a picnic. And, and it's like he does something scummy, but then he does the right thing afterwards. It's like he's not going to lead somebody on that he's not sure about. And it even comes back a little later where Olivia Wilde is like trying to get back together with him, and it's like he's not having it. Yeah. But it sets up this situation where Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson are sort of in the same place at the same time and kind of having this experience together. And, Olivia Wilde has now broken up with her boyfriend and Anna Kendrick's character, who plays Jake Johnson's girlfriend, is sort of not around. And you're really thinking, oh, this is the moment when all of this is going to come to a head and they're going to come together. But this film does sort of the unexpected thing. So first of all, the big unexpected thing, it's not Jake Johnson pining after Olivia Wilde. It's really Olivia Wilde trying to make this work with Jake Johnson. Mm-hmm. She's so vulnerable in this film. There's this one scene that I won't spoil, but it's just so unreal. You're watching this unfold and you're like, she's like a lost puppy dog, It's like you just want to take care of her while this is happening. But the film does a really great job of sort of showing how everything's going great, and then there's this one little thing, just one little thing, insignificant thing, but it derails everything. You think you're having this moment, you think they're on the way to the happy Hollywood ending, and then just this one little thing just ruins it all, just destroys it all. And it ends with this perfect little scene that wraps everything up in just a nice little bow. And that's one of the things I've noticed about a lot of Joe Swanberg movies. He does endings really well. Really well. And I'm really happy to have seen that. But this film you just feel good watching this movie. You're hopeful watching this movie. And the other thing, I've said this about Joe Swanberg films before, but it's almost like micro-targeting. Like it's almost like you can relate to something. And in this film, it was like every scene I was like, yeah, that same thing happened to me. They didn't all happen in that order. But it's like, you see these moments where you're like, yeah, I have this really close friend and we have this great connection and it's not really happening the way I want. Or then you find out later, well, maybe it was better that we were just friends. Maybe that's the relationship we're supposed to have. And, you're with this person and you don't know if you're with the right person. And, it really connects. I don't connect with every Joe Swanberg movie, but the ones when he hit this one out of the park. Okay. I think this is really something special, and I've already talked to John about this one, bringing it to the cinema since we know Joe a little bit here at the cinema. So I think we will get to see this one at the cinema. Drinking Buddies, excellent film, my favorite of the festival.
Cool.
A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.